On the wall.
Thanks, Suraj. Thanks. अभी मूड होया नहाया
We
नहीं
are
हूँ
live.
सुबह.
We are live. We are live.
Okay.
So I will just take 1 second to share this link around. Okay, and then we will start. Just okay. Okay. And in Telegram also we have a community, so we are live. Let's start. Okay, so guys, today we have with ourselves a very special speaker. His name is Chirag Nayyar, and he actually has you know, a very big introduction. So I will not introduce him. Instead, I'll just ask him to introduce himself. So I will be adding him on. Hello, Chirag.
Hey, Fazal. How are you? It's
I'm
been
good.
a
How are
long
you?
time. It's been a long time since we see each other and talk even.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Friday evening. The weekend vibes are
Yes.
here. Yeah. So just
Yeah.
holding the work and now here. How about
So
you?
how do you? I'm really good. My weekend also started. So Saturday, Sunday. Then again back to work on Monday. We have college also. You at least don't have to deal with college.
Yeah, great, great. I see a lot of activity you are doing, and I believe you have part of some startup, right? College Shala. So,
Yeah, I co-founded it.
wow, congrats, man.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes.
So, Chirag, like I said to the audience, I will not introduce you because you have a long history.
Okay.
Mumbai, Chennai,
Yeah.
uh, Chandigarh, then Kolkata, and now in
Okay.
Singapore.
Yes.
So your portfolio already has four very major cities. So please introduce yourself to the audience.
Okay. So, it's like an interview. Okay, I'm appearing for an interview, and how? Yeah, please. Okay. Hey guys, my name is Chirag. Okay. Yeah. Just a joke apart. Okay. So hey everyone, thank you for tuning. It's been a pleasure that I'm also doing like this is the first stream of a year. I took a break. I think in September or October. After that, I was busy in a lot of some professionally as well as personal activities. Now again the start of a year, and I try to upskill myself, and I will be back on track to share as much as I learn, and I think it will be valuable for all of my friends and all the peer students, professionals. So I'm working as a pre-sales engineer in a company named Cloud Communication based out of Singapore. So I started my cloud learning back in 2012-13, and it's almost 8 years. It's every day is a new learning because cloud is ever changing thing. Every day new feature, new services are coming. Each and every cloud provider with coming with its own more and more flexibility, which will help the customers, especially the bigger business. Every business is nowadays a IT company based, be it any industry or any domain. So IT is everywhere, and cloud is playing the role because your thing is cloud is just a add-on. I don't think the cloud is a separate thing. It's an add-on which is accelerating or giving the agility to the businesses to grow faster, much faster. And especially last year, we all know how we all are. Tie, we are forced to live in closed environment, closed ecosystem. That is where cloud shows its real power, the way the scale at which the cloud providers running their data centers, and the way the IT helped us to live our entire last year. It is proven thing. So same like I'm pretty much always excited to learn and share. And thanks Fajal for organizing this.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, would you also like to tell the audience, like till now, how many cloud platform have you, been studying or been in contact with or worked with or engaged with in a professional manner for
Okay.
sales or engineering related?
Okay, so if you say in that way, so because professionally and personally both are two different things. Professionally, I deal
Yes,
with
yes,
core platform. So the latest one is Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. That is still I'm in the early stage. It's not that because every business will grow and adopt, and every depend upon the different geography. So where I am located, maybe Oracle is right now don't. Uh, they are not having their data center or region here right now in Singapore. So it is expected that it will come online this year. So after that, the business will start growing. So I don't want to burn my mind that okay, study everything, and maybe after 6 months when it come for the work, then you need to restudy. So that's my nowadays strategy because the fundamentals are same. So if you know the
yeah.
fundamentals, the basic, so learning can be much easy. So apart from that, GCP, Microsoft Azure, and AWS is my like bread and butter day to day job. So yeah, this is like a professionally I'm dealing.
And personally, like you have also dealt with some Alibaba cloud and every other cloud also, like IBM or anything
Yes,
that we
IBM.
don't get to hear a lot in the industry.
Yes, so IBM I explored a little bit, I believe, a few years back, not recently, because
Okay,
there is not again a professional interest. So I don't want
okay,
again burn my head learning everything in a go
yeah,
until unless the requirement will not come. So and my company is now recently become IBM partner because my company got acquired, and we are merged with another cloud company. So they have the core strength of that. So I believe it will be a good learning curve for me quickly to learn from the experienced people. But yeah, explored in past. Maybe most of the people maybe never heard HP. There was a time HP came up with their public cloud, right? And HP Horizon, but it was not successful. But I explored it just for a couple of months, and they closed their business, right? And then VMware also come with their public cloud offering. Again, every cloud provider is giving that trial and some credit, some 3 months or a year kind of things. So it was something that I explored back in I think 2014 15 kind of a timeline. And
wow,
after that I never see that VMware also closed their public cloud offering. It was like vAir. Okay, and then I try to explore Tencent, Alibaba Cloud. Yes, I am exploring. I'm MVP of Alibaba Cloud. So then I
yeah,
explored Tencent also, and I try to learn something Russian cloud. If you know, Russia is having their own search engine named Yandex. So Yandex is also
Yandex,
given the providing the cloud services. So it's the same thing. If you know one, you can easy to replicate. So personally, I know about like Tencent and Yandex also, but maybe it's not a professionally because as my company is not dealing and not a partner, so there is a no point to deep dive explore all those things because it's as I mentioned, it's a everyday ever growing thing. So if you know, focus on
yes,
one, go with that, and then yeah, try to replicate where where your what I can say, simple thing you need to know where you will get your bread and butter, right? So if that works for you, because you need to manage your time, you need to manage your personal life, you need to take a rest also. It's not that 24 hours sitting in front of a computer. Maybe, yeah, in college days, it was like that. The entire night we can watch
yes,
movies and play games. But it happened like everyone is going through the same kind of a life phase. So when we come to the professional, then we think, oh, 6 p.m., no work now. Let's see tomorrow 9 a.m. No mails, no calls now. So it automatically happens.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what we actually did, Chirag, was, as this session is called AMA, like Ask Me Anything. So
Yes.
before this session, 2 to 3 days ago, I rolled out a Google form, open to all the community, and asked like whoever wants to ask you any question, you can just put in there in the Google form.
Sure.
Because what happens, like into if you see recently, so many events are happening online, and many people are hesitant for to ask questions online because internet is like forever.
Exactly.
And we also gave the option to the student that if they want, they can remain anonymous. They don't have to like display their name or tell me their name. In the name
Okay.
section they can just write anonymous. So we
Okay.
got 10 to 12 really like interesting fundamental questions. So I will
Okay.
just copy paste one question, it will be shown on the screen, and then you can answer it.
Yeah.
And I hope whoever asked those questions, they'll get help. Okay,
Sure.
so
Sure. I'll try my best. Sure. So I see like Shubham is also here. Hey Shubham, good to see you. Divya. Hey Divya. Who else I know? Yeah, it's really long. I think it's almost more than a year since we
Yeah, yeah,
interacted.
yeah, yeah. I think you celebrated your 1 year anniversary last year only
Yeah, yeah.
in
No.
Singapore. Yeah. So this is the first question. What is cloud computing? I think this is really nice for a
Okay,
first year or second year student must have asked.
sure. See, there are many definitions. Maybe I will share my own version and I will try my best to explain in a way. So, cloud computing is software defined everything, right? So, when we talk about IT, the first thing, or this is a myth like programmer is the only job in IT. But there are many things. Once a programmer write an application, it need to run on something. So cloud is coming in the way the model which change which change the traditional model, because when we want to set up some server in a simple language server, we need to purchase it, we need to spend money upfront or maybe in installments, and then we need to have some kind of a real estate, or let's say server need to set. Simple thing is buying a computer. Previous days maybe computers were very big, and we need to put it in our house. We need to know, I think we need to have a UPS. There was a time like UPS is must. We can't directly put our computer in the electricity. UPS need to be there, some cooling or fan, and all those things need to be managed. So same in the world of business, the server, it need to be managed. Someone need to run in the sense of whatever the operating system, to know that all the things are getting properly updated, whether it's a operating system level or maybe application level. That is where now the cloud came into picture, because as the IT started growing back in the era of dot-com boom, the big companies, the big player, they know they are getting a crunch, but and that is where their R&D came into picture with the value of software engineers. So they come up with the layer that this is a hardware, how it can be exposed utilizing the software layer, right? So from the software, everything, the magic happen on the hardware without we know. That is where we say we can't touch the physical thing in cloud, but we can access it using nowadays portal. And as again the IT started growing, I think 10 years back the API become new norm. So nowadays we whenever we develop anything, we say, hey, let's integrate the API or expose the API. So cloud is having the fundamental, everything is API driven. So there is a software defined layer which sets or which trigger the command to do the magic on this hardware, which are like the clusters of servers, the physical device which is residing in really physical geography, and all these are connected with the highly, and that is where the real engineering came. But with all the concepts, with all the what I can say the compliances, or compliances means to say some kind of a audit need to be there. That is where the technology come to give the isolation as well as security. So simple try to understand, cloud is something which is provided, which is like hosted by the big providers, be it any name, because they have invested heavily, they have the big pockets, they have the big research department who can do the research. They have maybe hundreds of thousands of people are working to do to improve it, and it is getting exposed to us via the software layer. We can utilize using this web browser consoles or command line interface or their SDKs available, and it changing the model of pricing perspective. That is where this pay per use. I think maybe let's take the example of sometime, I think it happened 10 to 15 years back. Mobile call were very expensive and we need to recharge, because let's say even we talk for 10 seconds, let's say 10 years back I want to like I want to meet Fazal, I go to nearby his house, I will call, I will say, hey Fazal, I'm downstairs, please come, right? It took maybe 3 to 5 seconds to say, but the minimum charge will be for 1 minute, maybe 1 rupees was the call charge, right? And I believe there, I forgot the company name, Ting or something, some operator came, they started with the per second kind of a billing, like the second 1 second 1 paisa for 1 second, something that model came. So try
Tata
to think,
Indigo.
Yeah, Tata Indicom, I believe before that some CDMS service was there. So
Yeah.
the same. So try to take that example. Maybe there was a time I remember. Uh, 1 minute call can cost nearby 16 rupees, 1 6. That was the time I think back in 2000 or 1999 or somewhere when early days of mobile. So same with now, you think buying a server, you need to spend maybe 100,000 rupees or maybe $100,000, something like that. But now utilizing this cloud, this software defined, proven and engineered, highly engineered layer, it is pay per use kind of a model. So that is where the businesses who want to quickly test, uh, who want to quickly, yeah, test and deploy whether their things will work or not. One thing maybe keep remember, a thumb rule or ideology of cloud is build fast, fail fast. The quickly you will, you quickly you will fail, the quickly you will know where you are lacking. The where, because this is maybe our kind of a human tendency also, we always have a fear to fail, but quickly we fail, we know what where the room of improvement is. The same now, take this thing into the business level. In the world of IT, and each and every business is adopting connected, available online. So the same model, like whether they want to test quickly any business, whether it will succeed or not, they don't need to burn the capital. So that is where the pricing benefit came into picture. So I can talk about cloud. I love, like, this is my bread and butter. So I can talk
Yes.
maybe days and weeks. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, try to
So
understand. Yeah, sorry.
yeah. So there is a live question. I think
Okay.
this is by Manna. He's asking quick question here. What was the networking issue that led to AWS not scaling, eventually leading to Slack crash?
Maybe
Now
to
this is
erase.
online. Okay, this
Okay.
is online.
Okay, great.
So
So simple word is to erase human, right? So maybe you need to read the RCA, you will get your answer. It's the technology is something we made technology, right? Not technology. I think if you watch the Terminator movie, the whole concept is the computers or whatever is going to rule on humanity, right? But till that, we need to run the show. We invented, like as a human being, we made the thing. So there, and to erase human, there is always a room of errors. Somehow some misconfiguration happen. Maybe it may happen on the AWS side also, because that is where I believe AWS also went down a few months ago. There was some services issue. The recent one, I believe we all heard, the Google, right? So
yes.
it is the human part. Maybe it may happen some misconfiguration and it led to the massive disaster. But that is where their prominent thing. Now think from a other side, the way, let's say, if we need to handle, if it down, maybe it will take a years. But that is where the people who are handling maybe tens of thousands of people, they work and they back it online in the span of few minutes, right? That is where
Yes.
the service level agreement and the monetary commitments and what I can say, some credits came into picture. So keep remember, human is there, human will be there, and the chances will be. That is where the cloud never say everything is 100% available. But I read somewhere many times, some traditional old school hosting provider 101% uptime, and they are providing some Pentium class processors. I don't know on which what basis they are able to provide 101, but real cloud provider never say. They will go to the what I can say fractions of nine, like double nine dot nine 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 nine, like this. But very rarely, or there are few services, because that is architectured in a different way, which can give the 100% kind of a availability. But most of the core services, they are always run in the fraction of this double nine dot nine nine or triple nine or quad nine. So yeah, chances are
Yeah,
maybe you
actually,
read the
actually,
RCA,
good
you will
point.
get. Yeah.
Yeah, yes. Actually, good point. When Google went down, a lot of the companies were like, they cannot log in with Google, even in other website that has nothing to do with Google, because they have that login with Google option. And
Mhm.
that is actually the time where you and I were discussing about SLA, service level agreement, which Google showed to its business provider that we can go down for at least 4 hours in a year, and you
Right.
cannot penalize for us that, because
Exactly.
the service level agreement was 99.95%.
Yes.
So they are
And
allowed to go down for 4 hours. That is
yeah.
like, remember that day. So actually, before that, I never knew about service level agreement.
Okay.
That is when I learned about it.
Great. Yeah. So that is what the real business will this. But But think, there is a no loss of data even at that massive scale. And they, I believe it was down for 47 minutes or 50 minutes, somewhere like this, right? And they come back and everything is recovered and up and running properly, because they are handling the massive, like millions or billions of requests per second kind at the scale. Now building at that scale, how much capital required first of all, and then who is going to handle? Not every company or not every what I can say industry want to become a Google. Google is Google, Amazon is Amazon, Microsoft is Microsoft, right? So
Yes.
that is where like we are in, they, these all company products are involved in our personal as well as professional life. Yeah. Yeah.
So Navneet Bharadwaj has asked, what are the suggestions that you want to give to any fresher who wants to set his feet in cloud computing? Like how to start off, where to go, how to study.
Okay. First of all, be a good searcher. Be a good searcher, like the maybe boys, the way you search things on Facebook. Be a good searcher on the your favorite search engine. And internet is no longer a luxury thing; it's a necessity. We all are connected, be it wherever we are living. So try to utilize to know the basics, because basics are the most important thing, and that is the missing part. I believe maybe now I am coming to the stage like I have also completed computer science in my majors, and I think if you are going through the same courses, we say, hey, there is a no value of this subject. Where I will use this subject in future, something. But the fundamentals are coming in a way that if your fundamentals are not clear, maybe surviving in a job also can be tough, right? So think about the fundamental when we talk about IT's networking, computation or compute and storage. If you know what are the differences, then easily you can understand about the basics of cloud. That yes, the cloud is demanding, or cloud to learn a cloud, these few things need to be there, and then you can enhance, because then it is kind of like enhancing or brushing your fundamentals more deeply, and then you will boil down that those fundamentals may be written 3 to 4 decades ago, and that is still remains the mainstream and everyone is utilizing. And what I can say, the future growth is also happening on those bases. So if you miss that part and you directly jump to learn just some tutorials, trust me, I did this and it didn't work out. And I learned in a very hard way while doing a job that yes, this need to be understand. If my base or core is not strong, talking about this level will not make sense. So just in a one liner, fundamentals are everything. So make sure
Yes.
get it. Yeah. Okay.
So Shubham asks, Shubham Chopra. So lot of cloud providers. Which one to start with? Some say GCP, some say AWS, Services Explore. Some use go with OCI.
Your voice is missing. Yeah, that is
Okay,
not.
so it's like confusing. So like a beginner, how they can start off with, like what which cloud provider they should start off with.
Okay, this is a very common question. Shubham, I
Yeah.
want to say that it's your choice. You need to know what you want to do, first of all, what you want from your career. Okay, if you hear there is, everyone is having a different opinion. My opinion may be different, right? Every cloud provider is following the same fundamental. If your fundamentals are clear, then you can start from any cloud. Saying this, you need to know what you want to do and what kind of a job market you are looking. That is your research that no one else can do for you. You can get maybe more and more opinion from a different mouth, and you will get confused if you're not able to decide for yourself. It's your career and it's your choice. So think from the angle where you want to go. Maybe where you are living, I don't know your present location, where you are living. You need to know what is the entire market doing and where the market is going. That is where you will able to say that, oh, in this market the job or the require or demand of this cloud is more than other. According to that, after graduation, or if you are working, if you can relocate to the some other city or some other even country, do your research. That is what I said. Use internet properly. It is not only to watch the TikTok videos and doing all the memes, but utilize it for your own education purpose, for your own clarification. Maybe sometime human create the confusion, or it is not able to decide. Everything is growing, and it is much growing, much faster growing. And conditions apply. Don't go for every free thing because, oh, someone is giving free. You need to know. You need to spend time for that. And how much you have free? If you have enough free time, it's your life. But do your research properly.
So our next member Amit Manna has asked, "What are virtual private networks (VPC)?"
Okay, so maybe again it's a soft, it's a what I can say, software version of doing the networking. Network is network. I believe in your house, if you play with your modem, I think we all have the broadband connections, and one IP we always remember. If our broadband is creating some issue, 192.168.0.1, something like this is a common gateway. So those all those from your how your router is connected to your wire, physical wire going to uh, your what I can say. Can you be on mute? Lot of noise coming.
No, 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 no. I am okay.
I think, yeah. Thank you. Okay. So the way your connectivity going, and again the rules of OSIs, there are 7 layers. That is the same going to the software defined everything, as I explained, the cloud, everything is API driven. That is what the virtual private network is. If you know that how you need to design the network, you are going to, maybe if you are the part of any what I can say, computer science or computer application or IT course, networking is a common subject. Even if you are not doing this, again there is no rule that you need to do engineering. Maybe buy some networking book, or you can do the, again, utilize the internet properly, because everyone is having a mobile phone, smartphone, everyone is connected. Just even explore from your mobile phone, you will know you are connect you are your mobile is connected with some network, and it is having some kind of a IP. One will be the private, one will be the public. So try to explore it, then you will know the same thing how to do in the world of cloud computing platforms. That is where the virtual private network will come into picture.
So Rohan Singh is asking, "Do you think hybrid cloud or multi-cloud have future? What are your views?"
Okay, good question. Thanks for asking, Rohan. So again, depend upon what kind of a segment or vertical you are dealing, because not everything is going to move to cloud. Even till last year, I was also reading some reports saying like there is only 10 to 15% of movement of entire IT happened till date to cloud platform. 85% or more than 85% is still on premises. But if you follow the AWS reInvent on the day of Andy Jassy, who is the CEO of AWS, in his keynote, he said only 4% of IT infrastructure is moving to cloud. Still 96% remains on premises. And cloud is not new. AWS in the market is almost 15 to 16 years. GCP is also, and Microsoft Azure, these are the old player, almost a decade old kind of a player, but still the surveys and reports are saying 4%. So now you think not everything is going to move so quickly. Maybe every company industry is going to explore non-critical, then maybe little bit critical application. That is where this hybrid cloud will came into picture, or maybe setting up the multi cloud, because everyone wants a choice. It's no business want to put all of their eggs in a single basket. So depending upon like what a business want to achieve, everything is having, I believe, hybrid or multi cloud is now ever growing thing. Because personally, I'm also coming from the cloud world. Now I'm understanding how this entire data center kind of things are getting set up, because it's not easy. Just it's not about just a click, and your servers and all those applications will start running. When it you need to know, you need to assess the properly what the business want, what are the maybe kind of a business compliances, kind of a networking required, especially how you need to educate the users who are going to utilize or who are the owner of those applications. That is where I believe it's a what I can say, the next growing field we need to ready. And yeah, hope for the best. Yeah.
So Dipanjan Patra is asking, how do you think the mainstream of ARM chips in the form of Apple M1 will affect cloud? Like MacBook has come up with now new Apple M1 because
Right.
there seems to be a high rise in high core count ARM based CPU from all cloud service providers.
Right. So very, very good question. I am also bit exploring, I can say, not from the Apple and all this perspective, but AWS even came before their own custom chip ARM base. It's known as Graviton. They have now, I believe, second edition of Graviton. Monopoly can be, maybe, yeah, it can stay for a years or few decades, but someone need to come and break. That is where the competition, the fair bit competition need to be there. Again, depend upon what kind of, what I can say, the efficiency and what kind of power computation we are looking. That is where things are coming, and clouds are providing, I think. uh, I don't remember if Azure is having their custom chip, or maybe I saw something in their event. But AWS is for sure. Maybe you can search about their G series like RG, or their what I can say T4G. That is where they have started providing their own custom chip. They acquired a company named Annapurna back in 2015 or 16, and they want now providing those custom chips on cloud. That is where the value of cloud is, because if you think you need to buy a custom chip, let's say taking example of Apple, this M1, maybe whatever your work, or whatever the software you are using on your work, chances are right now, because that is altogether a different architecture where you maybe your software is not ready to support that architecture. So it's a maybe a loss investment, or maybe yes, you need to wait that until unless your software will be fully compatible to run on this chip, then only you need to invest. But that is where the cloud is. You can test quickly, fail quickly. If don't want, AMD is there. No AMD, Intel is there. Yes, then otherwise, if you know that you want to stick with the ARM chips, then you need to build your application architecture to support that processors. So it is there. The competition need to be there. I'm pretty happy the cost and price performance competition they are giving to the other provider, like the established player like Intel and AMD. And I'm pretty sure the other cloud providers will going to come up with their own some kind of a custom version of processor, and there will be high competition and the high.
So Navneet Bharadwaj has asked, and this is a good question: SLA, service level agreement, or region availability? Which one is more important while choosing any cloud provider?
Okay, maybe I
Region or
need.
SLA?
Yeah, so I need a bit more information on region availability, and maybe let me take assumption if you're talking about where the cloud providers available in the geographically from that angle. See, SLA is something every cloud provider is giving, and you need to follow their service map, like for which service in which condition they are providing what kind of a number, like 99.9 can be there, or even only 99 can be there. So, or maybe 99.999 can be there, but in which condition, and according to that, maybe it rely on their underneath architecture. It can be a logical and then goes to the physical, right? AWS come with this availability zone concept, which is saying in each availability zone underneath there will be a physical cluster of data centers to give the maximum availability or the uptime. Microsoft come with a different strategy availability set, but I think sooner or later they also realized, and they started coming up with availability zone back in 2017. And I read few months ago they have now committed that in their entire presence or geographically region presence, they are going to come up with each and every region will be availability zone enable by 2022, something that news they announced, I think I read in November or October somewhere. So that is where, and Google is following the same strategy, and the other cloud provider I work, the Alibaba as well as the OCI. So they have the same kind of a, maybe terminology can be different, but the most of, again, the proven concept what customer is looking. The SLA is not only about the infra part. Cloud is covering the different layer. From those layers, the SLA can be differently depend upon what responsibility is in the customer side and what responsibility is from the cloud provider side. depend according to according to the your application architecture, then only you can say that what availability or SLAs you want to achieve. Yeah.
Okay, so I took one more question from the form submission that was submitted to us. So that question is, how is the security of a cloud-based system ensured?
Okay,
And
good question. I think this is a
it's a
question I
security
answered
based.
from
Yeah.
the day one of my job to the till date. So security is first of all shared responsibility model, as it is. One thing is the cloud providers, they have set up the physical everything and their engineering layer, everything is there, and that is where something, we can say the independent central, some bodies came into picture which do the kind of a clarification, like how we know that I am a citizen of which country. There is some central body of that country who is assigning me some kind of a document, like we have our passport, we have our uh, nationality card, or what I can say, uh, social security number or driving license. Each kind of bodies are doing their work to, and they need some proof from our side. According to that, they give us the those document. The same in the way for cloud, that is where we call it as a compliances. If you heard the something name like PCI DSS compliance, HIPAA, SOC 1, SOC 2, ISO. These are the words. Maybe you can search. GDPR was very famous back in 2017, 18, which is applicable for the European Union countries. So that is the part which a cloud provider is following. It will rigorously get audited, and after that they got those certifications or the documented that your things, or like however they are processing the data is the isolated secure manner. All those things are there. And then how one is security of the cloud, that is where the cloud provider come into picture. They are managing from the physical, who can access to the physical location, how the network, how the wiring, all the electricity, all those uh, things are taken care from the cloud provider side. Security in the cloud, that is where the things, the control, where beyond the cloud provider, because then that is where the software defined layer and the virtualization came into picture. Because the otherwise we can break the law of virtualization if one machine can easily talk with another machine without any what I can say, any breakpoint or any kind of a blockage. So entire, otherwise the entire IT is entire, and IT will fail. So the cloud security in the cloud is our responsibility. We need to know how the firewall rules, how the encryption works, what kind of services which require to encrypt, what kind of access pattern need to be there. So both, more and more tools are coming, so it depends on a person, or the person who is going to utilize the cloud, what he or she is looking for.
So there is another question. Is there one-to-one alternative of GCP Cloud Run in AWS?
Maybe Fargate you can take. A Fargate is like that. They are saying again the Fargate is running your containers in a serverless way, and you can expose it. Expose it. It can become the, maybe the web service, or maybe your web application. So yes, so I think Fargate is, as per my knowledge, but maybe if something new came into picture, I have not follow any such announcement.
Okay, and he's asking this question, and I think a lot of people do have doubt about this. That is it possible for a cloud company to know what services are hosted using their platform, or is it possible to truly encrypt all the aspect of the service?
Okay.
There is a
Yes.
context parallel app AWS, so
Okay.
regarding that.
So simple, yes, that is where I said that this compliance bodies came into picture. So encryption is there. Otherwise, it's not that everywhere that you can buy everything. I'm saying, maybe if you're getting my context, you can't buy those audited things by paying a money. It need to be tested. Otherwise, there will be then no IT, no trust, and why then we are talking about IT, or doing the work and doing the studies. So these are the rules which need to be governed and followed. And the context you are saying is, it is something, it's a public social media platform where the people are talking, maybe what is the hate speeches, right? So that is where again, I think we all have signed up many platforms, and we never read term and condition. We just blindly say, I accept, tick,
I agree.
no, right? So that is where a business come with each and every aspect of legality. In which cases, so this is the app which you are taking now, not from the angle of AWS knows what's going in the data, but from the front face of that application knows what it is impacting, right? So then it is maybe a breach of a business. Then it can maybe, yes, they can terminate the contract, and I believe they terminated. I read the news last week. They terminated this application, and yes, so different context, different business, different legality, and from which angle you need to first understand the business part.
Last question. How multiple operating systems are hosted on the cloud with such great performance? Won't one system crash everything?
Okay, that is where the distributed computing came into picture, the engineering, because they, like, cloud is for failing fast, and system fails. You need to expect that your entire architecture is going to fail. That is where the more and more resilience kind of a concepts, and then the services which help us to enable or making our architecture more performant and resilient come into picture. Things will fail, as you mentioned. They are tested and running in a much bigger way even we can thought, because we don't have that level of capital to invest to test. But there, that is where the proven engineering and research came into picture. It fails, that is where something, maybe the, what is the, its replica or its backup plan is always there to what you can say, to replace those system to the failed system, and make the entire system running smooth. So I think I can say, if you're really interested, I highly recommend to learn about software defined data center, SDDC, or maybe SDDX, like software defined everything. So so maybe in everything, storage came into picture, networking came into picture. Then you will know the difference between what is this control plane, the data plane, how the things are going, how these management going, and how the things are getting utilized from the user perspective. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you do have a YouTube channel. And first thing that I think you should share with all of us. And secondly, I just observed Avik Banerjee is in the comment section.
Okay. Hey
So
Abhik.
do say hi to him.
Okay. Hey Abhik. Good to see you.
Thanks, Chirag. You have already spent like 40 to 40, more than 40 minutes. If there is any, like, advice or anything that you can tell us who are still in college, first year, second year, third year, even fourth year student,
Sure.
we could make use of this time, and your advice would be very helpful to the people who are watching.
Sure. Okay, maybe I always want to say, don't run for freebies. I understand not everyone may be in the condition to spend money, but don't put yourself in the trap of freebies. I am saying, like, maybe I did this. I'm clearly saying I was like same condition, but there is no value until unless you are really going to utilize. Because try to understand your time is limited. Utilize your time properly. Don't just rush to show off this social media stuff. You will, like, at the end it will be nothing. It's just a fake platform, like just a social media. It has nothing to do with your personal. Try to build your own skill, try to clear your concepts. One, you have the clarification of your basics, then you will be in the condition. Just give me a second, I think. Once your basics will be clear, you will be much more confident, and your growth rate will be different. So try to understand, try to figure out what actually you want to do. Not everyone wants to become a programmer. I agree, I'm a non-programmer person. I never understand programming, and I'm a computer science background guy, right? Not everyone wants to become a system admin. Not everyone wants to become a ML guy. Not everyone wants to become a data scientist. Maybe someone is having an interest only in networking. There are many things, but you need to know the other aspect. Like, try to be know about all those things at a very basic level, but don't try that you need to expert in each and every area because the others are doing. You need to analyze, you need to decide for yourself your path. Then I think, and don't put yourself in this trap of social media waves and the advertisements that this much data scientist required. Maybe maybe you need to know if you really want to do. Because I come across, especially the last year batch, 2020 batch, I'm telling you, most of the people are not able to get place because they don't know the basics. But they have the beautiful, some shiny certificate from some prominent institute about data engineering, data scientist, machine learning, something. Maybe in which company they are going to apply, you need to know that company vision first, right? You need to know the market segment. I am saying these are the emerging technology, I'm not denying. Even I am supposed to learn also, my company, my work wants, but still I'm not at that level that I can comfortably work or speak at that level. Because I have, maybe that is only one project, but I am involved in a 10 different project where, like, the networking, security, migration, all these things are deeperly involved, which I can do work more happily rather than just forget about this and just running for a single project. So know your priorities, design your priorities, and according to that, you will know where you want to go. You will land for sure. That is what my own experience, that whatever I tried, whatever I want, whatever I thought, step by step, I am getting closer, and then maybe a new targets I'm setting for myself. Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, I in the live section there are two more questions. If you can just briefly answer them. One is by Shubhapriya. Can virtual workstation replace desktop?
Okay, depends like what you want to do. Because if you know the virtual workstation, what kind of architecture and what for what purpose you want to do. I am using AWS Workspace, but because I'm not a developer, I know few things are not working on workspaces because of, again, the architecture based limitation. There is another workaround for that. So you need to know if your company is ready. It is like I am working with the like on a one project where maybe thousands of workspaces are running, and the company is again having that vision. They want this virtual workstation, and they don't want to invest in the buying new laptops and desktops. So depend again upon the vision, as well as what you want to achieve. Okay.
And really, last question. Like this is the last question. What is
Okay.
the optimal way to use cloud services for online businesses?
Okay, what kind of online businesses? Maybe you can specify. If I'm expecting online business, what is this kind of a what was? Yeah, I forgot the company name which came some online business. Uh, Maybe okay. I was thinking about some joke. So you need to
I think
know
maybe
that.
he's referring to website and apps which are
Okay,
completely online with their digital services, I think.
okay, so maybe you really need to know the benchmarking part. Again, deadlines, stringent deadlines are always there, and that is where testing team will come into picture. Cloud is giving us everything, whether a very small scale, like giving a half gigabyte of RAM kind of a instance or computation, or a server or instances, to the maybe multiple of terabytes on a single instance. So it's all about, it's a continuous evolvement. You need to know the benchmarking. You need to do the, what I can say, the what we can here say, service. Like a car need a service maybe after running for few thousand kilometers. So that is maybe a monthly kind of a process you need to set up, that seeing that whether are you optimally utilizing your system, is it performant enough, or it is underperformance or overperformance or oversized. According to that, your cost will come. So there is no straightforward rule. It is something, you have a menu which cloud providers are giving. You need to know what you can digest and how quickly you can digest, and how how it will going, how much it will going to cost. And that is where you need to know your taste, and you need to know your business side, and then the tools, technology is always there.
It's
Yeah.
been really amazing, Chirag.
Thank you. Yes.
So this was our last question, and
Great.
I think now we should say adieu, goodbye, because I have taken like 1 hour of your time. Thanks a lot for your time.
Sure. Thank you.
And as an Indian, I would say, if you ever come to India, if you ever come across Kolkata, do meet
Sure,
us.
sure. I wish. I want to travel. I need a holiday. Then for sure, I
Yeah,
want to spend time in Calcutta and meet all my friends. Yeah, and maybe there we can have a meetup if possible. Let's see the
of
time,
course,
how the time
anytime,
goes. Sure.
anytime. When if you come to Kolkata. Okay,
Okay.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks a
Take care,
lot.
guys. Yeah. Bye bye.
Okay, bye.